So, y'all, I just learned through the grapevine that a lot of music artists are basically.
Okay, guys, I wanted to stitch this video, but go watch the full thing. So, most people don't know this, but I actually have a music business certificate. When I got my degree, I did a music business program that pretty much taught me the ins and outs of the music industry. And prior to taking that class and getting that certificate, the classes, I mean, I wanted to be an artist. I thought getting signed by a record deal was the greatest thing ever. And then you learn about record deals, and I was like, oh, these companies are greedy. They're greedy, they're corrupt, very, very evil. There's a reason a lot of artists go miserable and depressed in the industry. And it's partially because of these record deals that they're signing, that they are pretty much slaves to that record company. They don't own anything. They don't own the rights to their music typically. They don't have any control over a lot of their personal lives. It's like you literally are pretty much selling your soul when you sign some of these record deals. So yeah, let's go over what they are. So the worst record deal and what most people are getting screwed over by is a deal called a 360 record deal, where basically this record company owns every aspect of you as an artist and as your likeness as a person. They own you as a brand. So any type of thing you do outside of music, the record label still makes a profit off of. You know, when all of these music or artists create other avenues of income, like they might have a home line, they might do a clothing line, they might do a perfume, they might do a makeup. The record company is still getting paid from that artist for those things because they own anything associated with the likeness of that person. You are literally selling your likeness and personhood to that record label. They own it when you sign those deals. The other most corrupt part of it is how they work is you get an advance, right? Say you get an advance that's $1 million, right? That advance you have to pay back. It's technically supposed to be you're not liable for it, but they might have got made it like you have to pay it back regardless of if you make them famous or not. Typically though, it's like the record label is invested in that artist for like 2 or 3 albums. If they don't get back their money, if the artist doesn't recoup their original advance after the first album, they might try to do a second album. And then after that, if you are not successful, that's when you're usually shelved and you never hear from those people again. But like, still, any music that they've made, they can't release because they don't own the rights to any of their songs, to any of their music, anything. And that's also why you can hear an artist who sang a song that was popular years ago and now gets sold to a completely different artist, and you're like, wait, wasn't this person's song? It's like, no, they never owned the right to that song. Unless you write it, you have to have a songwriting, be part of a songwriting PRO in order to have any rights to the own or ownership to the song. If you don't write the music, you don't own it. And Taylor Swift write a lot of her music, so she does have songwriter credits for most of her music, but she still doesn't own the masters. That's the whole debacle that a lot of people don't understand. The masters are owned by the record label. Even if you write the song, the person who owns the masters has control over the song. You just get paid as part owner of the song when you write it. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. The other part of the 360 deal, this is where I was like, this is the most corrupt thing I've ever heard. So say you sign a deal, you get $1 million advance, and you have to recoup your advance to the company off of sales of your album. But you usually only have a 10% commission or profit from sales of your album. 10% is like barely anything, right? So if you as an artist are only getting 10% off the sales of your album, say your album is $10, the record company makes $9 off of the sale of that album, you are only earning back $1 towards that advance. So oftentimes the record label has already well made back what they've invested into that artist by the time they've sold like maybe 500 albums I don't know, let's do the math. You would have to sell, I think, 200,000 albums, around 200,000 albums. Or wait, no, I'm doing too high. I think after about 55,000 albums sales, the record companies made that $1 million that they lent you. But you have to sell a million, a million albums before you've actually paid back the advance, and then you're being charged for every other thing. So oh my gosh, I still can't believe people get got by these deals, because I'm like, never ever would sign that. The most you should do is a distribution deal where you have a company work under someone to distribute your stuff for you. But yeah, basically that artist is only making $1 per sale of their album and has to sell a million albums until they've paid back the company or the label. But the label at that point has already made like $9 million off of you, because you're paying back off of the 10% you're earning from the sale, not from the $1 million. Once the company makes $1 million, you know you paid them back. No, you are paying them back off of the smallest percentage of profit. And yeah, that's why these record labels are greedy and corrupt. The other part of it is they're charging that artist for everything, so it's like you just keep owing more and more money. So they might have given you $1 million in advance, but if they paid anything else for you, you're paying that back. That record label owns that person basically for the rest of their life. So yeah, it's sad. If you are trying to become an artist, read the fine print. These record deals are no joke. And I personally would never sign a record deal for that reason. After understanding fully how they work, what it means, how you have zero control, being an independent artist is the way to go. And that's often why a lot of record labels try to poach independent artists early into their career. They also used to not require people already have a following, but now it's like they used to just look for talented people, but now you have to also be talented, already have a following, already have a name, already have all of these things before a record label will even look your way. It's kind of crazy, but the music industry is corrupt. As a Christian, it's corrupt. And the companies, these record labels, are greedy, money hungry. All they care about is money. So yeah, hope that helps explain some of the behind the scenes of being an artist and signing a record deal. I would say don't do it, babes. Don't do it.